All right, everybody. I'm doing a little video here on 9/11 Memorial, or the 9/11 Remembrance. Here's my little logo I drew. And I have this paper from 2001. It's from the Contra Costa Times. Your words, the East Bay speaks its mind about terrorist attacks in New York and Washington as we feature pages of your letters. So I looked at it. I mean, I'm not here to look at this newspaper. Sometimes I'll look at a newspaper and read it with you, historical stuff. So, but this time I just want to talk about generally, what happened for people who weren't there, and just my perspective. Just I've tried to record this once or twice, and it's directly to YouTube, and it just failed. Like I'm doing now. If this gets up, we're successful, obviously. But I did like 13-minute video in it, and I've heard people say this on YouTube, and they're like, YouTube is, I don't know, glitches, phones, technology. It's amazing. Things happen. I don't want to record this on a external camera and then upload it because I'll never do it. Anyway, here we go. So 9/11, I was in London. Great Britain, UK, United Kingdom. I was working out there, construction basically, and then I saw the jumbo screens in what was it, Trafalgar? What is it? Piccadilly Square. Piccadilly Square is like a convergence of a bunch of little roads in kind of jumbles. It was there for years. You would have parades. I think the Queen, the royalty goes through that area back in the old days. Now there was parades after the World Wars, and then right now there's pubs on the corners. So look up that Piccadilly Circus, I think they call it. Look that up and you'll know what that is. And they're usually, right now, we're back in 2001, they had pubs there. I'm sure they still do. Pubs on the corner, and then they had jumbo screens. This is 2001, so that's, we weren't completely saturated with technology. There was jumbo screens to watch football matches. That's what the term is for soccer in Europe, football. So there are jumbo screens. I think I was, I had a cell phone, but it wasn't like a major one. Didn't have, we're not talking about major web browsing. At that time, a cell phone was basically mostly a phone. You got text messages and a little bit of miniature data, little crappy little bulletin board type stuff for, as far as web pages and stuff. I mean, when you have to go home to get on the internet to get those HTML pages. So anyway, that happened. What I really want to fast forward to is that I was in a different country. I didn't see all the flags of America come out like this, this very big Americana thing going on. I didn't really see that. I did see support for America by people telling me, they would say, "Hey, I'll buy you a beer." Are you American? I hear an American accent. We stand behind you. They're mimicking George Bush's stance, if you're not for us, you're against us. And a lot of, world leaders, European leaders said that they were for us. They were standing behind us. So people came up to me. I think one was a Maltan person or something, and they have a history of Islamic attacks in Malta. It's a Christian Muslim kind of crossroads. Anyway, I would go to pubs and stuff, and they would buy me drinks. This was the first few days. Got back to work. There was a moment of silence, I remember, and I remember I was way down in the basement and I was jackhammering. They actually gave me a jackhammer, and I was I was the only one who didn't stop because no one told. I couldn't hear that shit. They go, it's way three stories down below, so I didn't hear the call. Anyway, the lone jackhammer. So anyway, it was like, I think the foreman goes, "Did you not hear this? We're having a moment of silence." And like, of all the people, the American is the one who was. I go, "Oh, whatever." Just I was way far down there. I couldn't hear it. Anyway, so I'm just kind of like an idiot, just an average person, an average idiot person, as far as politics goes and all that stuff, and just working, trying to like make it an experience, make a living, seeing what's out there in life, building, learning, traveling. And 9/11 happens. I don't know what it's about. I took some college courses on Middle East stuff, and I did a paper on European terrorism. A lot about, and there was so, what I did learn from that was there was a major amount of aviation terrorism, hijackings. Carlos the Jackal, all those Palestinian stuff. If you want to get a little taste of that, there's movies on that. Carlos the Jackal has a good documentary about him. Bader Meinhof is a good one about German supportive terrorists, socialist terrorists. There's the one where the Israelis get revenge. Munich, yeah, the Munich attack. So I did a paper on basically terrorism, Carlos the Jackal. These are 70s things, that 70s names, that Munich, Carlos the Jackal, airplane is hijacked, and a lot of them didn't end in death, or like at least like major death. It was the raid on Entebbe, I think. There was an Israeli plane that got hijacked. The Israeli special forces went in there, cleared all the terrorists, saved the day, stuff like that. There's all that kind of stuff. There's the French, this French special forces police who attacked, got access to a jetliner that was hijacked, and I think in northern Africa, that landed in France. I can't remember the name of those guys. They have like 1-2 inch plexiglass face shields, and they go bust in with revolvers because they don't jam. I forget what that force is called, but there's all kinds of that history. I knew about that. What I didn't know about is geopolitical politics and about how America is hated. I've heard a little bit of those things, but that was not important. What was important is drinking beer, having fun, making a living, traveling, seeing Europe before you get too old, that kind of stuff. What it wasn't about is thinking that America is the world's enemy, stuff like that. Anyway, fast forward, I'm getting given drinks. People are saying, and we didn't know what the hell this was all about. This was news. If you're a younger person, or this is a newspaper. This is like days and days after. This is like years. We had newspapers, everyone flew a flag. And of course, this is the Bay Area. The first thing I read is an activist have an alternative to war. Okay, I'm going to read that later. Maybe do another video. Angry that we chose not to take terrorism seriously. Okay, that's Michelle with a single L Fry. S. Michelle Fry. Attack reveals how new reality America needs to change. Muslims everywhere aghast at massacre. Instead of battling ourselves, let's fight real enemy. That's from Jasbar Singh Soch. So we're getting like, it's not us. Unchristian views. This is Kissinger failed. High cost of hate. Here's a letter from Dorothy Miller, Pittsburgh. I have always thought that hate was an ugly, dirty little word. We use it so freely in our expressions. People say that hate this and hate the other thing. Now we know that hate is not a little word. It is a big word in all capitals, hate. Now we know that it is the most truly obscene word in any language, and now we know what hate can do to us. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Looks like she's blaming America. This is the Bay Area newspaper, so don't return to hate. Okay, this is press. Okay, this is selected. An affront to Islam. It's a major irony that this terrorism attack appears by association of Osama bin Laden. As many know, bin Laden is angry at the U.S. forces occupying military bases in Saudi Arabia, which is an ally, supporting what he calls a puppet regime This he says is an assault on Islamic culture, and it has called for jihad, a holy war, which we didn't know what that was back then. Anyway, we know what that is now. If you don't know what that is, that means war. Islam says it has a lot of stuff about war, holy wars, and you can look into that yourself. It appears to me that these individuals do not adequately reflect the true values of teachings of the Quran. I do not know, our government and media show how Islamic world background in these jihadis. Okay, so there's Islamic. Our government and media should show is the Islamic world background of these hijackers and who they really are. They do not reflect the teachings of the Quran and should not be held in esteem by Muslims who are practicing true Islam. So it's Blaine Carter of Walnut Creek. This issue. Okay, so ISIC shell detection, shield plutonium. Okay, this one guy here from Jack Bragan from Martinez. He's actually talking about we should watch out for dirty bomb. Here's a 91-year-old Julie Bartlett, Concord. I'm 91 and I've lived luckily in the United States through many years of conflict. I learned early that today they can be your friends, tomorrow hate you, jealous. Jealousy is a strange bedfellow. The United States has always been envied. Okay, we've gone abroad to help unrest, to quell unrest. There is enough room for all nations. Unfortunately, greed, envy, and nasty natures predominate world leaders. Keep the people dominated. We are a nation of smart people from many backgrounds. For that, we are not liked. You can't control smart people. We think for ourselves. Leaders of other nations don't want people like us. They want dummies because they can be easily controlled. We must not allow that. Okay, that's interesting. She's 91 years old, so she's not going to have a common viewpoint. So this is, I'm just whatever. But what happened to me, just to get to my story really quickly, is that I was in a region of London, and there was a protest of Islamists. They were burning the American flag, just like maybe that one. And they decided that was a good thing. They were celebrating. I decided that I didn't like that. I said, what the fuck is it? I was completely blown away by that. I said, what the hell is this? There was some bobbies, the policemen were protecting their protest, which I'm just one person. Literally, there's no one else around. No one else was supporting it, but the people who were jihading and celebrating were getting off on themselves. Celebrating, burning flags, yelling banners, doing all kinds of stupid shit. This is London. It's not America. And I heard that in London, in the UK, in the US, people were flying the American flag. They were supporting the United States, minus the liberals here in this area were instantly defensive of Islam in other countries and all that shit. They had just an agenda that America had caused this by our actions. We're a nation. We have we're the West. We have it's not all perfect. I believe that some of those things are wrong. Militarizing the whole country, the whole world. Economic warfare. Banana Republic stuff, toppling governments, CAA crap, in this day and age, we're not so into that. Causes us trouble. Anyway, not totally into that, but there is a perspective, as it says, that there is a group of people who hated us, and that's what happened on 9/11. Group of people, conspiracy, no conspiracy. Those people were convinced or easily convinced to go ahead and attack. That's what they did. So back to my story where this protest was happening, burning the American flag. I'm in a foreign country. I'm an American. I'm getting support from the pubs, the normal people, these jihadis who are prevalent in London now. And are some of them went to jail after supporting ISIS. Finally, it took ISIS to get them to be so brazen to support terrorism. And they didn't have a place to really support it until then. I just wasn't even political at that moment. And then they made me political. They made me understand there is an enemy. I am hated. Our way of life is hated. And I didn't know what that meant until then. And that's what 9/11 means to me. That there is a group of people who hate the West. They hate success. They hate like that one 90-year-old, she said they hate that this country is smart. It has different people. They can generally get along. And they don't like that. And they don't like our way of life. They don't like our skimpy dressed people, or some of our culture is a little bit over the top. But they don't like the happiness and the fun that we have in the West. And maybe it is a jealousy thing. So anyway, that's that. For America itself, I speak for only America. I don't speak for any other country. If America supports countries that others find, repulsive and want to attack us for, that's up to them to believe. I believe in our country, the United States, should be protected from foreign intervention, from attacks, and we need to stand up for our culture, which there is such a thing as an American culture, and we need to protect it. And that's what 9/11 is. 2001 is when the Twin Towers fell. And if you don't remember that, look into it. If you have any questions or want to share your perspective, link, send me the link and let me know about it. Comment. And anyway, 9/11, the anniversary 2018 will be tomorrow, I believe, if I've looked on my calendar correctly. So I want to do this video, and I hope this loads up, and if it does, you've just watched it. Thank you very much. And as George Bush used to say, God bless America.